Have you ever thought about how some of the most powerful changes, the ones that really stick, often emerge when communities truly come together?
Yeah, it's much more than just, connecting socially. It's about actual growth, forging that shared identity.
Exactly, and collectively building something new. That's really what we're diving into today. We're looking closely at a fascinating recent gathering that really managed to weave together innovation, the local economy, and a strong sense of national pride.
Okay.
It was the GCV Pi Network Philippines Community Meetup in Bicutan, Taguig. Now, for those of you maybe newer to this, Pi Network is that novel crypto project trying to make digital currency accessible via mobile mining.
Right, mining on your phone.
And GCV, that's global consensus value. It's this community thing trying to assign a shared, stable value to Pi. So this event, it was like a real-world hub for that digital community.
It really was. And our deep dive today, well, we're going to try and pull out the key insights from our source material about how this community specifically organized this event.
How they made it happen.
Exactly. How they fostered engagement, how they supported local initiatives, and importantly, how they celebrated Filipino identity. We're looking at the practical ways they pulled it off.
Okay, so let's get into the details. Our source describes this GCV Pi Network Philippines Community Meetup as, well, a pretty remarkable gathering. It happened on July 6, 2025, and it wasn't short. It ran from 9:00 a.m. right through to 3:00 p.m., a solid 6 hours.
And the specific spot was 280A Reyes Street, P3 New Lower, Bicutan Taguig City. What really jumps out from the description is that this wasn't just, a casual hangout.
No, definitely not.
It seems highly structured. It was hosted by Vivian Tuyé, and Leonardo Rios was there as the ambassador. That points to clear leadership, a real strategic purpose behind it all.
That structure feels important, doesn't it? It signals intent. It wasn't just show up and see what happens. There was a plan.
Right.
And what really made this more than just a meetup, our source points to basically 3 core objectives driving the day. First up, and maybe foundational for a community like this, was education.
Okay, education. How so?
Well, it was a primary goal. They achieved it through specific seminars, workshops, things designed to really inform people.
Ah, okay. And it's interesting how they integrated that. The source suggests it was really focused informing participants about the GCV Pi Network's mission, the decentralized currency idea.
Accessible to everyone.
Accessible to everyone, and specifically their global consensus value initiatives. How to establish that shared economic value.
Yeah.
Sounds less like abstract theory and more about practical knowledge.
Yeah, empowering people to actually participate, right? Which you need for adoption and growth.
Absolutely crucial.
Okay, and for anyone interested in local economics, and I think this is really compelling, the next objective was boosting the local economy.
How do they tackle that?
Through these bartering and buyback activities, this wasn't just talk. It was a direct physical platform for exchanging goods and services.
Wow, okay. Bartering. That's insightful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Taking this digital-first community built on a new concept like Pi and revitalizing something as old as bartering.
Right. It feels like a real hybrid approach.
It really does. It suggests a future where digital tools don't just create new economies, but maybe breathe life back into traditional local exchange, especially, in places where formal banking might be harder to access.
Did the source give any examples?
Yeah, it did mention one, like someone trading hand-woven baskets they'd made
Okay.
for a supply of locally sourced honey. Simple, maybe, but it really shows that direct value moving right there within the community. No intermediaries needed.
That paints a clear picture. Okay, so we have the education piece and this direct economic activity injection. But what about the community aspect itself, the glue holding it together?
Good question. The source definitely highlights a strong focus there, fostering unity and identity.
How did they do that?
Through interactive activities, designed specifically to build that solidarity among members.
Oh.
But there's one detail that really stood out to me, and you mentioned it earlier.
The flags.
Yes, displaying Filipino flags. The source says this was explicitly to strengthen national identity and that collective spirit.
That is fascinating. You have this event rooted in a global digital tech platform, but they're deliberately weaving in potent symbols of national pride. It's not just about the tech, is it?
Not at all. By bringing in those flags, they weren't just rallying around Pi or GCV. They were reinforcing their shared Filipino heritage, their collective identity. It adds this powerful layer of belonging that goes way beyond just the digital connection.
It really grounds it, doesn't it? Makes it tangible.
Definitely.
So when you pull back and look at the whole event, the practical education, the direct economic boost through bartering, and this strong sense of shared cultural identity,
Yeah.
what does it tell us, really? It feels like, well, it feels like a potential blueprint.
I think it absolutely does. It shows how other communities, whether they start online or are more traditional, could think about blending digital tools and awareness with very real, tangible local benefits, both economic and social.
So it's not either digital versus physical.
Exactly. It's this multifaceted approach to community growth. It shows that real-world impact often comes from these innovative mixes of old and new, digital and physical working together.
Okay, so let's try to quickly sum up the key takeaways then. The GCV Pi Network Philippines Meetup in Bicutan really stands out as this potent mix. You had practical community education, direct local commerce driven by those innovative bartering and buyback schemes, and this deep current of shared community and national identity running through it all.
A really remarkable convergence, showing how a shared vision, even one born online, can translate into concrete real-world benefits for people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And maybe this leaves us with a thought for you, the listener, to mull over. How might community-driven events like this one, events that cleverly leverage both digital platforms and traditional exchange like bartering, continue to shape and perhaps empower local economies and cultural identities moving forward?